Hello, welcome back. This is Dr. Edward Padama, and this time we are going to discuss research writing using IMRAD format. But before we start, please support the channel by clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell to alert you when a new video is uploaded. So let's start. Okay, let us answer the fundamental question first. What is IMRAD? In scientific writing, IMRAD with capital A or IMRAD with small letter A is an organizational structure prominently used particularly in scientific journals. So IMRAD is the acronym for Introduction, Methods, Results, and Discussion. But I want you to take note that there are two different formats usually implemented in writing your research, and this is the full research format where usually you write your research from chapters 1 to chapter 5 depending on the higher education institutions where you belong, or the other one is the IMRAD format. And this is the reason why we are going to discuss the IMRAD format. The IMRAD format is a shorter version in terms of the physical characteristic of writing a research. Now, why do we do this in your research? This will be answered during the course of our discussion. So, stay tuned for the next part of our discussion so you will know why we write in IMRAD format. Okay, so in a nutshell, IMRAD format is used because it is prescribed when a research is to be published in scientific journals. So as graduate students or postgraduate students or even professionals, once you've finished your research and you are required to publish this in an accredited journal or scientific journal or educational journal, you will be required by the organization who handles this journal to publish your accomplished research in IMRAD format. Now, let's try to look at what are the contents of these parts, starting with the introduction. Introduction should answer the following: why was the study undertaken? What was the research question, the tested hypothesis, and the purpose of the research? Second, in the part of the methods, this should contain when, where, and how the study was done, what materials were used or who was included in the study groups or respondents, and under the parts of the results, this should contain what answers were discovered during the course of your research, what was realized, what did the study find. And then another is what was the tested hypothesis true, proven, or disproved. And then under discussion, this should contain the implications of the results, the relevance of the results, and why does it matter, and how does it fit in with what other researchers have found. This should answer a particular research gap in your research to prove the value of your research and to justify that your research needed to be done. Okay, so writing the IMRAD format has two paths or process. So this can be done using the quantitative research, or this can also, and this is also used in qualitative research. But the problem is you have different procedures when you use IMRAD in quantitative and a separate procedure when you use IMRAD in qualitative research. So again, let me reiterate and emphasize that this IMRAD discussion is for quantitative research. So quantitative research includes survey research, correlation research, causal comparative research, and experimental research. Now moving to the main discussion, which is the IMRAD structure used for quantitative research, I am going to go through the requirements, because this is more on the mechanics on how to write the research, and less on the content since you have already accomplished your research. So let's start. IMRAD format for quantitative research. You start with the title. So the title should contain the following requirements. It should not be less than 8 and not more than 12 keywords for your research title. So you present your title in the first page or the cover page of your research, and then this title should be proposed, approved, and a permanent title, since this has already been accomplished, implemented by the researcher. The next part of the IMRAD format after the title is the abstract. The abstract should have a minimum of 150 words and not more than 250 words. So regarding the number of pages that you consume will depend on how you present your abstract. So the abstract should contain the following: the general research problem or the purpose and objective of your research, who are the respondents or the description of the respondents of your research, the research method that you used and the design, the summary of the findings, conclusion, the recommendation of your research. And then the next part is the introduction. So the introduction is advised to not have less than 3 and not more than 7 pages. Okay, so this is just a guide. If you go beyond 7 pages, that's okay, but less than 3, I think that is going to be a problem, since it would present a question regarding the content of your proposed research. And then the content of the introduction, this should discuss the formulation of the following. So the theoretical framework, leading, connected to, or anchored to the conceptual framework. And then the statement of the research title, leading to the research paradigm or the flow of your study. And then the next part of your IMRAD structure is the method and design. So the requirement for the method and design is that it should not have less than 1 and not more than 2 pages. So this is not as lengthy as the introduction. And the content of the method and design are the following. So this should contain the discussion and the justification on the use of the following. So why did you come up and use the research purpose and objective along with the specifics, so the specific problem. And then the selection of your participants. Why did you select these respondents? And then the data gathering tool that you used in your research. You just describe the tools that you used and justify their relevance in using and their appropriateness why you use them in your research. And then statistical analysis that you use, including the formula and ethical considerations that you implemented during the course of your research. And then last but not the least, the results of your research. So the requirement for this part of your IMRAD is that it should not be less than 5 or not more than 10 pages. And then the content of the results should be the following. It should be the discussion of the presentation of the computed data into tables or graphs using specific objectives as your sequence guide. So when you present the interpretation of the table in your research, you should follow the sequence of your SOP or statement of the problem. Number 2, identify the recurring patterns from the data and state them as findings. So what were you able to discover in your research? And then you group them into a general finding by placing all these specific patterns and synthesizing them into one. So basically, this is the content, the structure, the flow, the sequence of IMRAD. So if you follow this, and I hope it will help you in writing and converting your full research into IMRAD structure for you to be able to publish your research in any academic journal that you wish. Okay, so again, thank you very much for watching the video, and thank you for being with us in this discussion of the IMRAD structure. And please support the channel by clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell to alert you when a new video is uploaded. And if you have any questions regarding research writing, write them at the comment box below this video and I will immediately get back to you. So again, thank you and God bless.